The great chamber of the Galactic Council was filled with tension as delegates from different species gathered to display the most dangerous creatures of their worlds. Each race wanted to prove their strength by showing the hunters that had shaped their survival. One reptilian species proudly revealed a massive six-legged beast with teeth sharp enough to tear metal, while an insectoid envoy showed a predator that melted its prey with acid. The audience gasped, impressed, and horrified at the same time. The air carried a strange mix of pride and fear, as if each species wanted others to know they had lived alongside nightmares. When it came to Earth's turn, the crowd leaned forward with anticipation, many expecting humans to show something small or unimpressive, because Earth was still seen as a young world, fragile compared to ancient empires. The council's silence grew deeper when a towering alien, with a voice like thunder, declared they would now reveal their own most feared predator, a beast even their soldiers avoided. A hologram flickered to life, showing a creature with claws dripping, fangs long as knives, and movements too fast to follow. Gasps filled the chamber, yet the humans only watched with calm, unreadable faces. The hologram beast leapt across the projection, ripping apart armored prey and roaring so loud that even through the speakers, many delegates flinched. Its claws struck like blades, its speed unmatched, and for a moment the council chamber trembled with fear. Some species lowered their eyes, unwilling to stare too long at the creature that haunted another world. But while the rest of the room held its breath, the humans remained strangely quiet. Dr. Carter, the lead human delegate, leaned back in her seat as if she had seen nothing unusual. The alien presenter looked proud, certain that no one could match such a predator. But then Carter tilted her head and spoke in a calm voice that cut through the silence. "That's just a cougar." The chamber erupted in confusion. Translators checked the word again and again, but the meaning was the same. Delegates turned to each other, clicking and whispering in disbelief. The alien who had shown the predator stared at Carter, his pride shifting into unease. "A cougar?" he repeated, almost choking on the word. Carter nodded as if explaining something obvious, her expression calm, her eyes steady. The room's tension deepened, for everyone realized she was not joking. The chamber fell into uneasy silence as the humans activated their own projection, and the first image that appeared was of a cougar moving silently through dense forest, muscles coiled like springs, eyes glowing with quiet hunger. The alien delegates leaned closer, recognizing at once the resemblance to their so-called apex predator, yet noticing how effortlessly this earth creature stalked and killed its prey. Murmurs rose, but before they could settle, the image shifted, showing wolves surrounding a much larger beast, their teamwork flawless as they struck and retreated in patterns that no single predator could match. The crowd whispered in alarm. The idea of hunters working together so perfectly was alien to them. Then came the grizzly bear, a towering mountain of muscle and fur, swatting aside obstacles with terrifying power. And when it roared, the sound filled the chamber as if the beast itself was inside with them. Before the audience could recover, the oceans opened before their eyes, sharks cutting through the water with silent speed, orcas hunting in coordinated packs, and the shadow of the great white shark emerging from the deep jaws wide enough to crush bone and steel alike. Some delegates covered their eyes, but Dr. Carter continued calmly, her voice steady as she narrated. "These are not the worst," she said, her tone almost casual. "These are simply the predators we still live beside." Images of crocodiles ambushing from rivers, eagles swooping with talons sharp as knives, and swarms of army ants stripping flesh in minutes filled the air. The silence of the hall became heavy, fear pressing down on every alien present, for they realized Earth was not merely a homeworld. It was a place designed by nature to forge monsters endlessly, and somehow humanity had grown and thrived among them. The alien who had once stood so proudly now trembled, his confidence shattered as the images of Earth's predators faded into the air, leaving only silence and the uneasy beating of alien hearts. That beast his people had worshipped for centuries as unstoppable had just been dismissed as a cougar, one of many predators humans barely considered worth mentioning. Delegates shifted nervously in their seats, their minds struggling to imagine how a fragile-looking species like humans could endure such a place. Finally, A scaled elder leaned forward, his voice shaking as he asked, "How did your kind survive in such a world?" Dr. Carter met his gaze, and for the first time, her calmness carried weight like stone. "We didn't simply survive," she answered. "We adapted, we learned, and we evolved." With a motion of her hand, the projection shifted again, revealing scenes of early humans armed with nothing but sharpened stones, facing down lions, mammoths, and saber-toothed cats. The images showed hunters working in groups, fire blazing in their hands, driving back creatures far stronger than themselves. Then the timeline advanced, tribes building weapons, warriors setting traps, farmers living in villages still surrounded by predators, yet refusing to surrender. The chamber grew colder as Carter continued, her voice steady. "Our ancestors lived in constant danger. They woke every day knowing they could be hunted, yet they built, they fought, and they endured. Over time, we did not just defend ourselves. We became something else. We became the predator that predators feared." More images followed modern humans facing crocodiles, swimming in shark-filled waters, climbing mountains where bears roamed, even camping in wilderness filled with creatures that other species would consider untouchable death. And yet, instead of being crushed, humans smiled, laughed, and thrived. A wave of unease spread through the council as they realized the truth. Earth was not a gentle nursery world. It was a crucible of violence and survival, a place that shaped its children into something dangerous. To live on Earth was not merely to exist, it was to be tested every day by nature itself. And humanity had passed those trials so completely that even now, sitting calmly in a council chamber, they carried with them the quiet strength of survivors born on a death world. When the final images faded, the chamber remained in a silence so deep it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath. Delegates who only moments ago had proudly displayed their predators now avoided eye contact with the humans, their earlier confidence drowned beneath a new and unsettling realization. For years they had thought of Earth as young and fragile, a place of green forests and oceans, not understanding that those same lands were arenas of endless struggle where only the strongest survived. Now they saw clearly why humans walked with such calmness, because their calm was not weakness. It was the steady breath of creatures who had looked death in the eyes for thousands of years and learned not to flinch. One insectoid envoy whispered nervously, "If that was only a cougar, then what horrors remain hidden?" Dr. Carter offered only a small smile, her words measured yet heavy. "You don't want to know." The council members exchanged uneasy glances, their claws, scales, and antennae shifting in discomfort. The message was clear. Humanity had not brought warships or armies to impress the galaxy. They had only brought the truth of their origin, and it was more terrifying than any weapon. The elder who had once demanded Earth prove its strength now sat silent, his earlier arrogance buried under a new rule forming quietly in his mind. Others thought the same, though none dared to speak it aloud. From this day onward, no species would test humanity directly, not because of their technology or numbers, but because of what they represented. Predators shaped by a death world, clever enough to build civilizations, yet ruthless enough to survive where no one else could. The chamber ended, not with applause or debate, but with silence that felt heavier than war drums. The council understood something that could never be forgotten. Humans were not prey, nor were they equals in this contest. They were something far more dangerous, the predators of predators, walking in suits, smiling politely, while carrying the quiet shadow of Earth within them. And from that day forward, the unspoken law spread through the stars: never provoke the children of the death world, for their calmest words held more weight than the loudest roar.